Welcome to the Ask Domnat show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. The fastest 30 minutes of your day to make you an overall more informed person. My name is Dominic Pereira, but you know me as Ask Domnat. Today, guys, starting the week off strong. A lot of news coming out, a lot of real estate, and let's get to the rundown. So, on today's show, what are we going to be talking about? January 12th, rundown. Trump real estate ban on institutional investment. And if you've been keeping up with the news, you know that a lot of real estate investors have been looking at this very closely, and we're going to get into it. And because it's such a big news, because it's something wildly out there, we're going to continue the show talking about real estate and really how much home can you afford in 2026. I'm going to be going through a step-by-step guide rundown to do a deal analysis with you guys. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to look at the Philadelphia market because that's where I am from originally. Well, not that original, but that's where I'm from, where I grew up. And I know a lot of people from there. So I want to give as much value on this show as possible. So let's get into it. What did Donald Trump say? All right. Real estate ban on Wall Street. On single family homes. Everybody knows if you are in the single family housing market that sometimes it just feels like it's hard to get into a house. And the craziest thing is, this is why I want to go through the walkthrough later on in the show, is that somebody owns these homes and they are presumably paying less to the bank than you are paying in rent to them. So psychologically, by the numbers, you can afford to pay for a house because if you're paying rent already, you're already paying the cost of what that house is. So what is the hard part about buying it? Well, that's the when institutional investors get in. The institutional investors have so much money to scale. So like they can buy 100 homes, 200 homes at a time. They can pay more because they just have more money available to them. So single family homes, we're not talking about apartment complexes. We're not talking about big buildings. We can't afford those anyways right now. So what did Trump say? Here's his latest tweet.
Put Grant on speaker right here.
Trump's tweet. For a very long time, buying and owning a home was considered the pinnacle of the American dream. It was the reward for working hard and doing the right thing. But now, because of record high inflation caused by Joe Biden and the Democrats in Congress, the American dream is increasingly out of reach for far too many people, especially younger Americans. It is for that reason and much more that I am immediately taking steps to ban large institutional investors from buying more single-family homes. And now we'll be calling on Congress to codify it. People live in homes, not corporations. I will discuss this topic, including further housing and affordability proposals and more at my speech in Davos in 2 weeks. Davos is the international economic forum where all the rich countries go to talk about how they're going to control our lives with money. But what's my opinion on this? Okay, I want to make sure that you guys get my opinion. That I've had some comments saying, so what do you think? I think it's a good idea at its face. I love it. Stop big institutions from coming into single family homes. I think I like the aggressiveness of it. I hate when politicians just talk and talk and talk. I just need somebody to do something. Stop institutions from buying homes. Why do they need so many homes? Right? And for the numbers, we'll get into it. Large institutions bought 500,000 homes, or they own 500,000 homes as of February or in 2024. So you have 500,000 homes that were bought and purchased by companies that have no intentions of ever living in them, just renting them out. It takes away from the community feel. It takes away from the little guy trying to get in. How can you compete with Blackstone when they're willing to pay 20, 30% above asking price. But just because I love it in concept and in theory, do I think it's really going to help? Well, I also think that this can backfire. This can go the opposite direction because the housing market is not just strictly about numbers. It's about the feels. It's about the vibes. We buy houses based on how we feel, not just based on the number. If we feel that things are going in the right direction and we're feeling good, consumer sentiment index, then we tend to buy more houses. If we think that the market is going bad, people look at the stock market, they're like, oh no, the stock market's going bad. Maybe it's not a good time to invest when they don't even got no stocks. They're not invested. They're talking about, but not a good time to buy a house. People are always waiting for the crash. So why is this potentially a bad idea? Potentially is because, or maybe not a bad idea, but can backfire, is that so many people are going to read this and they're going to say, oh, wow, there's going to be a huge opportunity to get in now and not have to worry about competing with the institutional investors. We're all going to buy houses. So there's an influx. It brings more people into the market. Prices then start going up. Ain't that crazy? Because realistically, let's go by the numbers. How much of a percentage do you think institutional buyers and investors have of the housing market? I'll tell you. That's what you're here for. Investors buy about 15% of the housing market. 15%. Actually, it was like 16.7 according to what AI chat you use. 16.7% of houses bought in the market are bought by investors. Is that a large number? Is that a small number? I don't know. That's just the number. 16.7%. So, wow, how does that affect when you're buying as a first-time buyer? Well, now on top of that, Donald Trump didn't say he's going to ban all investors. He's not going to ban all investment, naturally. There's mom and pop investors. There's medium-sized investors. There's large investors. I'm on the smaller side. I'm not, believe me, I'm not affecting housing markets. I'm not. Maybe in my neighborhood, if I buy one or two, maybe, on my section of the block. But nationally, CNN is not writing about me and anything I'm doing. So it's not affecting me. It's affecting large national investment companies and companies like BlackRock, like I Home something. These large companies that have 200,000 homes. People are speculating that he's going to ban companies that have over 1,000 homes. Over 1,000. So what does that mean as far as the numbers? Well, those companies only have about 5% of the market. 5%. So 95% of the real estate market might go unchanged. We're looking at banning 5% of the market. Is that going to help? Certainly it's going to help by at least 5%. But is that really going to change anything? Or are we looking at the wrong things? Are we looking at banks that aren't giving favorable loans? Are we looking at our policies in these cities that don't allow for construction of new houses fast enough? How can you really affect affordability? Because this might hurt because more people are going to flood in thinking that it's a bigger number than it really is. And in reality, it's 5%. However, for those people that think, well, maybe this is going to help, maybe it's not, there's one guy that has a unique opinion. Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone came on the Ryan Pineda podcast. He had him on speakerphone, and he had a unique opinion. This podcast, I don't like to promote anybody's philosophy or anything, but Ryan Pineda was kind of tiptoe-ish, like, oh, I don't know. He likes Trump, so he doesn't want to disagree in anything that Trump says. I have a whole reaction video on that Ryan Pineda interview with Grant Cardone and his co-host. His co-host was doomsday. Oh, this is bad. This is the end of real estate investors. Oh, whatever. Like, we'll never be able to get out of this one again. But look at what Grant Cardone said.
Put Grant on speaker right here. What's up, dude? Dude, I got you live on the podcast right now. We were talking about you. Did you see this new news with your boy Trump?
Of course I did, dude. I knew about that 60 days ago.
So what's going to happen?
I think nothing's going to happen. Everybody that's looking to buy a house, y'all got to quit complaining and acting like victims. Look, 40% of America does not have a mortgage on their home. 65% have a mortgage under 4%. Institutions are buying real estate because Americans aren't. And so Trump's going to do this. He's going to be like, yeah, that's not right. So what? He's a promoter first.
So what do you think these guys like America Home for Rent and stuff who've been buying up all these single families, what do you think they're going to do?
But they're not. Everybody thinks they're buying all the homes. The institutions own less than 5% of all the housing stock in America. You guys are overplaying this thing.
You think Trump's just doing it for PR? Is that the assumption?
Trump is the greatest promotion man in the world. second, maybe to Elon.
Get him off. You heard that? Nothing's gonna happen. This is from a guy who owns. I'm gonna give him the credit that he's due. Billions of dollars in real estate, maybe $1 billion plus, and he's heavily in the real estate market. Now he primarily focuses on large apartment complexes in the Sunbelt states, so maybe not the single home too much. But he's an insider. He has some sort of knowledge that the average American, even the average investor, does not. And his sentiment is, nothing's going to happen. This is just really gerrymandering and pandering to the people. All right? But realistically, it's only 5% of the homes that he's talking about. And out of those 5, it's not like there's not homes out there available. It's just that you guys need to stop complaining. You need to stop complaining and just buy more homes. Coming from a rich white guy, right? That's the problem that we have in this country. The billionaire, and I'll give him credit if he is a billionaire. I don't know that to be true. The billionaire is telling you to stop complaining and just go and buy more homes. And if you listen to that full interview, he says, as a matter of fact, don't even buy a single family home. Start with a 16 unit, maybe a 32 unit. Just go buy a 32 unit building. So disconnected from reality. Do I think something's going to happen? I do. I think more people are going to start looking into buying homes. Because they're going to start looking into buying homes, home prices are actually going to go up. And banks are now going to have more available capital to do funny things and funny business. Well, they're going to say, well, last year we didn't have this regulation, so we invested $5 billion into buying homes. This year, what are we going to do with this $5 billion? Maybe we loan it to people to buy their own homes at higher interest rates. Maybe we put it in another investment cycle. I don't know where they're going to put the money, but you can't stop the flow of money. All right. What we need to do is redistribute the wealth into the community, not just stop people from doing stuff, right? Because what's going to happen when these banks then start buying homes under LLCs, right? Like maybe it's not BlackRock, maybe it's Greystone LLC, Ruby Rock buys 5 houses, 6 houses. There's always, if there's a will, there's a way. And these companies get clever. We need to start really cracking down on them. So I do think that something's going to happen. I don't think that nothing's going to happen. But what I do think Grant Cardone is right on, and this is what I want to spend the next 10 minutes going over with you guys, is that there are opportunities right now to buy homes. I think that there is a large population out there that thinks that they cannot get into a home right now. They cannot afford a home, and it's somebody else's fault. It's the bank's fault. It's the large institutional investors' fault. They can't afford a home. Well, how much home can you afford? How much? If you are looking to buy a home, what steps should you take? Right? This is what I want to go over with you guys. And the market that I'm going to analyze is Philadelphia. I grew up in Philly. I know the Philadelphia housing market a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of the Philadelphia housing market, surprisingly. So I don't really invest in Philly too much just because of a lot of other reasons, geopolitical, blah, blah, blah. But it is a great opportunity. It's not too far from New York, DC. It's affordable. So let's go and use one of my favorite sites. It's called Redfin. Redfin is better than most investment sites. And here, I'm going to show you why. I put before the show just my filter. Here's my filter. I'm looking for homes in Philadelphia, right? I'm I'm looking up to $250,000. We don't have to reach there, right? How much money do you make? That's going to be the predicate to the question or the answer of how much home can you afford. Well, if I look at several homes, look, this one here is 200,000. If you know the area, you're like, can I really afford a $200,000 home? Can I afford? Oh, look at this one's 140,000. I did see this one. I'll tell you why I probably wouldn't grab it, because of the neighborhood that it's in, personally. But if you're already in this neighborhood, renovated home, you don't have to worry about anything. $140,000, 3 bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1,024 square feet. Probably has a basement that's not redone. Can you not afford this home, or can you afford this home? Let's see. Let's see. Well, the reason I like Redfin is because here you can look at everything about the neighborhood, the walkability. They can't tell you the stuff you really want to know, like, are you in the ghetto? Probably. Let's see. But I mean, if you grew up in the ghetto, if you live in the ghetto, if you live whatever, like, what's the difference? You there now? I grew up in the hood. Then don't be mad when BlackRock comes and buys it. But here's the reason that this is important. Why I love Redfin is this payment calculator. At the bottom here, on this is what they're asking for, by the way. You never give them what they're asking for. It's a buyer's market right now. Homes aren't selling. It's a buyer's market. It's what they're asking for. You look through the pictures. Let's go through the pictures together first. This is just a basic search. Look, it comes with a little unfinished basement. Not probably the best parking situation, but decent enough. Decent enough, especially if you just want to get into home ownership. All right. So what do you then look at? All right. Schools aren't great. I'll tell you that. You better homeschool them kids. But if you just give them what they're asking for, which is the purchase price of $140,000. I looked up mortgage rates a little earlier. Right now, with the current interest rates and everything, you can get into a 30-year fixed mortgage at about 5.58%. And I put down that you can put 5% down, which is about $7,000. And if you don't got $7,000, I understand, but maybe buying a home isn't for you right now. Maybe let's save up some coin. Because even if we can get you, there's programs that can get you even lower down payments. But what happens when you have a roof leak or your toilet backs up? You're gonna want to have some reserve cash when you're a homeowner. So right now, if you were to get into this home, you would pay the bank principal and interest $762. Your property taxes to the city of Philadelphia for those bad schools that you're in that neighborhood, $38. The home insurance is $72, and your mortgage insurance, which is because you're putting under 20%, is $83 a month. Your total is $952 per month. The rule of home ownership is that you want to stay about 30% debt to income, meaning your home should only take up about 30% of your entire monthly income. If you're paying about $1,000 a month, and remember, this goes up a little bit every year, a little bit. Your property taxes goes up as the value of your house goes up. Your insurance might go up a little bit because the cost, you're more likely now to have to replace something. So if you're making $3,000 a month, $3,000 a month is about $36,000 a year. A bank will give you a loan for this. That is very reasonable for the average American to get into a home. Now, is this the home that you want? Maybe, maybe not. But home ownership isn't out the question. But this isn't even what I recommend. This is just me throwing it out there so you can see. Really, what I recommend is when you start getting into multifamily homes that will hopefully also pay for themselves. So what did I do? I Googled, same thing, not Googled, I Redfin this search. This one here, the only difference that I put is at the bottom here, I put multifamily. Oh, multifamily homes. So what did I do? I came here and then I said, okay, what's this area here? Are we still in the ghetto? Maybe, maybe not. Let's see. If you're from 19140, let me know. Let me know how this neighborhood is. But the reason that this one's important is because it's $180,000. And again, this is what they're asking for. Never pay asking. You're an investor now. Forget that. Tell them, as Dom that told me, it's against my religion to pay asking price. And the reason I love Redfin is because you can just request a showing. You can, they have available times to go and see the property. I think that's maybe down here somewhere. Um, but you can request a showing and just pop up and start looking at the house. But we're gonna go right through it because you're busy. It's a busy day, and I want this to be as valuable to you. 180,000. Let's look at these pictures, folks. They got 10 pictures. The outside don't look all that great, but don't worry about it. You need some sweat equity. You need to put some work in. The last one we looked at was already done. Woo, right? That's more for if you're not a handsy person. Maybe you're a female that just don't want to deal with all that. But if you're a guy, then you told me you can't do a little paint job when your boys tell you, yo, let's go to the courts. Nah, why don't y'all come over and help me replace this vanity? Actually, the cabinets look pretty good. The upstairs, maybe new floors, right? But you can see one unit upstairs is kind of renovated. The other unit needs some work downstairs. There's some furniture. So let's see what we're talking about here. Let's see, make sure that who we got on the line. Tell me where you guys are calling in from. So we looked at the pictures. They're not horrible. You can look at the map to see what. Look, there's Cousin Supermarket. You're right down the street from a supermarket. Hunting Park and Fifth. Oh, this is my old neighborhood. Actually, this is a Hunting Park right here. But yeah, I know this neighborhood. I used to work at the restaurant on Fifth Street. Ribs are Rush. You guys know. Yeah, so come on. I was here for good 15 years of my life. Never owned, though. All right, but is it attainable? Here's what I'm going to show you. Yes, it is. All right. If you just pay them what they want, which you won't ever do, your monthly payments is $1,345. Let's call it $1,350 for simplicity. The same mathematics that we did. You're paying the bank the principal and interest. You have to understand what the two are. If you don't, just DM me or comment the word mortgage, and I can explain to you and break down the best way to get these. And then this is the property taxes, a little higher insurance. Like I said, it goes up a little bit based on the cost of the home. This is a 2-unit building, right? Number of units, 2. And I believe if you read the description, it says it is a duplex investment opportunity near Hunting Park. Features 2 separate units, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, currently rented at $900. The second one is vacant, 1 bedroom, a 1 bath unit. A 2-bedroom, 1 bath unit. So you know if the 1 bedroom, 1 bath is $900, the 2-bedroom, 1 bath, you can rent that for at least $1,000 or $1,200. Oh wait, Don, what did you say? The mortgage is $1,350 as it stands. So if you get into this unit, well, you need somewhere to live. You have the 2-bedroom, 2 bath. You can live. 2-bedroom, 1 bath. You can live in, and automatically. And look. All these things, I didn't even read this, but look, everything that I noticed, they highlight here, right? Like the grocery store, the neighborhood, the park, because this is what people, when they're buying houses, look for. I just have an investment trained eye, and I just start spotting things. But honestly, that's a good thing there. But this one, $900. Already somebody's paying that when you move in. The first time I bought an investment property, they had a tenant in there already. When I went and I bought the house, I figured out how to get my down payment so low that I didn't really have to pay down payment. I had closing assistance. I'm going to show you this before you guys get on your way to work today. And believe it or not, I signed a paper to buy the house. They're like, Dom, this is your house now. You own it. And I happened to sign it on the first day of the month. And guess what? They were like, oh, by the way, here's your rent check from your current tenant. What? I bought a house and you guys giving me money? Yeah, I need to do this more often. It was incredible. So if you buy this house, let's get froggy with it, folks. This house has been on the market. Let's say you don't pay $180. I want to take them down because I'm an investor. Forget them people. $140. Let's go $145. Your rent is $1,082. Somebody's already paying you $900. You're living for free. And then technically most loans that you get, you just have to live there for 1 year. And then you can rent it out as well. Make sure you're not committing mortgage fraud. But you live there for 1 year, you clean it up, blah, blah, blah. Then you can rent out the top too for another $1,000. Now you're getting $1,000 in your pocket. Now you're not talking about institutional investors buying all of the houses. Now you're an investor yourself. Ooh, you're in the investment game now. So what are all these programs? Really quickly, let me go after some of these with y'all. FHA loan program. FHA loans are really first-time home buyers loans that allows people to get into these homes. What are the requirements? 3.5% down. As I was putting 5% down on ours at 7,000. Remember, it's 5%, but you can get as low as 3.5% down. What credit score do you need? 580 credit score. And then your debt to income, we were doing 30%. They'll accept the general debt to income of 43%, meaning that you don't even have to make that much to get $1,000 home. You only need to make 20 something thousand, 25,000 a year, which is a little over $12 an hour. It's not a good idea. I'm not encouraging that, but I'm telling you, it's possible. When you ask for that raise, hey boss, instead of $10 an hour this year, can I make 12? You're like, why? What, you planning on buying a house? Did you watch the Ask Dom Nat show? Your little secret. I ask for more than 12, please. But it's possible. And then you just have to steady income and employment history, often 2 years, required no specific income minimums, people. So that's it. That's for the FHA program. But and then let me slap another one on top of you. There's called a Home Ready program. Home Ready program. I took this program. This is for low to moderate income householders and borrowers. What does it do? It as low as 3%. It brings your percentage even further down. It brings your interest rate even further down. That mortgage insurance that I showed you, we can cancel it. Cancelable mortgage insurance, that PMI. So you save that extra $83 a month or whatever it is. Flexible sources of income, because some of y'all got shady jobs. You don't got all the paperwork. You might work as delivering groceries or something else. I don't know. You might work as getting paid cash. Flexible sources of income, not too many questions. Competitive rates. I remember I took this online course. It taught me all about home ownership. And they were like, at the end of the course, they gave me a certificate and told me my interest rate went from 4% to 3.5. I'm like, thank Jesus. The program's out here. And then various types of property, single family homes, look at this. It fits for the home that I just showed you guys. First time home buyers a lot of times. Right? If you're buying with somebody else, with a partner. So the Home Ready program, all you have to do is complete a Home Ready program. It's an online course. Oh my gosh, Dom, too much information. I can't thank you enough. Is there any other program that you can share this morning? Yes, the NACA program, people. The NACA program. This is your first-time buyer as well. NACA program, this is a longer commitment program, but probably some of the best benefits that I've ever seen in a mortgage program. Let's go through it. America's Best, with no down payment, no closing costs, no PMIs, no fees, and below market rates. What? That's throwing the kitchen sink at these people. Look at these people in this photo with probably in a house now. That looks like a conference. They just finished their conference, but they about to go buy a house. $20 billion committed to this mortgage and $15 billion for Bank of America on the following extraordinary terms. Like we said, you get into a house. The first time I heard of this NACA program, I thought this lady was lying to me when she told me her interest rate was 1.23%, 1.25%, something like that. What? Crazy. So you don't have to pay closing costs, down payment, no fees, no mortgage insurance, no considerations of credit score. You got bad credit. So I showed you a program today that your credit could be as low as 580. Now I'm showing, and I'm ending this show showing you a program that you don't have to have any credit at all. And these are programs available. These are houses available. Now, all you have to do is spend the time doing the research, looking out what works for you in your situation. But home ownership and investing opportunities are available for you no matter where you are. Where I started the show was saying, yes, we need to get institutional investors out of real estate for single family homes. But that doesn't mean that you can't start your real estate investment journey, because those institutional investors aren't really buying at Broad and Alney. They're not. They're buying in different areas like Fishtown and whatever, Franklin, whatever other hipster community there is. Grace Ferry is a big one, but they're also concentrated heavily in one city. Right now, Atlanta, Georgia, Austin, Texas. They're concentrated in Miami. So that 5% is not fair when you look at it nationally, because they're not investing in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. They are investing. If you're in a big city, then yes, you are feeling the squeeze of that 5% ownership of big corporations. But what did I tell you? It's all about the vibes when it comes to real estate investing. It's not all just numbers. It's all about the vibes. And why is that important? Because even though what you're going to hear is people saying, oh, this news of Trump banning institutional investing isn't that big because it's only 5% of investors that do it. It is like eating a bowl of Skittles, and you got 100 Skittles in there, but 5% of them are toxic and venomous. Ooh, some poisonous Skittles. Only 5 of them. But how comfortable would you feel eating those Skittles? Probably not very. And that's what we have in the real estate market. We have some poisonous investors and institutional investors, and we're getting them out. But that doesn't mean that you have to wait to start your real estate investment journey. If you want to know more information, if you want me to do another walkthrough of how to start real estate investment, I will go through a step-by-step. Maybe if I get enough interest, I'll just go ahead and buy the property. I'll buy the property with y'all. I don't know. I got to talk to my lawyer if I could even promise that. But I would just buy the property so you guys can see the entire process. I just want to bring you guys along with me. Let me know. DM me, comment. Just let me know. I don't want to buy this property by myself. I've already done that a bunch of times, and I've been very fortunate. But the most important thing of my day is that you guys join. And this is the Ask Dom Nat show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. The fastest 30 minutes of your day to make you an overall more informed person. My name is Dominique Pereira, but you know me as Ask Dom Nat. See you next time.